Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Ghostlight RPGs and Zoa Stardust. Ghostlight RPGs, if you are new, welcome. We are a community of theater artists and beyond, keeping the lamp lit, telling stories, having adventures, even when the theater goes dark. My name is Justin, he, him. I am your game moderator. I have to remind myself every time it's game moderator in this game. I'm your game moderator for Zoa Stardust. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right in and introduce the rest of the team here. I'm going to pass the ball to Darrington.
Hi,
No.
I'm Darrington. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Tennison Vitell, also he, him pronouns. And to share a little special fact about him, Tennison named his Zoa harness enhancement, the Toucanai, after a constellation system named the Toucana. And so hopefully we'll see what happens. But the idea was that as he applied modifications to the harness, he could name them after different specific stars in the constellation, Alpha Tucanae, Beta, all the way down to Zeta. So we'll see if that's how it goes. But he's very interested in astrology.
I love that so much. Pass the energy, Darrington.
I'll pass it over to Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, she, her, and I play Milo Reynard, who is he, him. And fun fact about Milo, he is a sugar fiend. He tries to stay away from it, but when he gets it, he does not stop, and he does not stop. And so it's best to keep him away from sugar. And I'm going to pass the energy to Bradley.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I'm Bradley, he, him. I play Chadwick Murray Niles, or Chomper, also he, him, as well as Flip, he, him. My fun fact, I guess, about Chomper is he has a Mjolnir-esque hammer device called the Dustbuster that he can throw and retrieve, powered by dust.
That's so cool.
And I will pass the energy to Annie.
So, I'm Annie, she, her. I play Kira Swiftfoot, also she, her. And a fun little fact about Kira, as you all kind of figured out already, is she did grow up with asthma, which was pretty bad when she was younger. She kind of kept her behind in some physical things. It's gotten better, but she still has a holster on her apparel that holds that little inhaler just in case she needs it. She hasn't had to use it in years, but just in case, you might see her have to pull it out if things get tense. So just put that down. It looks like a cool weapon right now, though. But so, Emma, I will pass the energy to you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Emma, she, her, and I play Skipper Ottington, she, they. Skipper's fun fact today is that she was born and grew up on a seaside resort called the Oasis, run by her family, which uses water channelways and integrates them into the resort so that aquatic animals or semi-aquatic animals can come into the resort and vice versa.
So good.
And I'm going to throw it back to Justin.
Woohoo! First of all, those are fantastic fun facts, everybody. Thank you. Let's see. I want to thank Sumkey real quick. Sumkey, thank you so much for the subscription. Which reminds me, everybody watching, if you haven't already, go ahead and give that little heart button a click and follow us so that you don't miss our next sessions and whatnot. You get reminders of when we're going to go live so you don't miss them. And yeah, and if you're able to, we appreciate all of your subscriptions. We love having a community here with us all the time, kind of like you become a part of the story in a way, especially with Zoa. There's a lot of opportunity for you to do so. And yeah, check out the channel points if you're interested in finding out ways that you can actually kind of influence the story on this one. Let's see. Cool. Let's talk about our content warnings. So, Zoa Stardust, we're doing a PG-13 adventure here. We do utilize safety tools, lines and veils. We have color cards of different kinds, just for our safety and for yours. A few content warnings: language, violence, possibly drugs. I keep saying that just in case. I never know. You never know. Hey, Kate. Good morning. You have. We might have some adult situations. I don't know what's gonna come up, but nothing graphic, so should be pretty PG-13. A few notes from last week that I want to address before we jump in. First of all, I know that our sound levels were pretty off last week. It's a work in progress. It's a little tricky for me to tell as I'm doing this, so if you're in the chat watching and, you know, maybe right now, like, I'm super quiet or I'm super loud or somebody else is really quiet or loud or the music is too loud or too quiet, I encourage you to let us know in a very constructive and friendly manner in the chat. We're kind of getting the hang of this a little bit, and so if you have any things like that you want to point out to us, we appreciate it. Impartial Pierre, welcome. Good morning. So thank you for your help in our audio department. Also, you might have noticed there's no captions on the screen right now. Unfortunately, our system for captioning wasn't working properly. I'm sure you noticed that last week. So hopefully we'll have a future solution on that front. Apologies for the inconvenience on that right now. Also, last week I mentioned that somebody asked about maybe like a map of Zoa, maybe some written history of Zoa. Those are all things I do want to get to in the future. To be honest, they're not going to be super important to what the adventure that we're playing right now, but I will be releasing things like that sometime later. So if that stuff interests you, I highly recommend that you just stay tuned and it'll come. I'll keep you all updated, but it's not going to be for a while. I want to take it with patience and care. Great. And then lastly, we had a lot of great questions in last week's chat, and it made me kind of think, everybody else is doing a fun fact about their character every week. I thought maybe I would do like a weekly answer to maybe one of the questions that I saw in the chat the week prior. And this is a segment that I'm going to call, a weekly segment I'm going to call Get to Noah Zoa. little Sunday morning humor for you out there.
Shame.
You shut up, Bradley. You shut up. So, one of the questions we had last week was, what do the metazoa eat? Veggies, mostly. There's a slight majority of metazoa that also eat insects and other unevolved forms of life. But many others, I guess the slight minority of metazoa, treat these creatures as pets or put them in like service positions. So anyway, but overall it's mostly veggies. It's pretty rare to find a metazoa who actually like preys on other metazoa. A lot has changed in 200 years. We'll just say that. So that used to be the case, but not anymore. Meet and greet.
So cute.
I love it. I love it so much that it hurts. So much that we need to just jump right in. So if there's nothing else, did I miss anything, friends? All right. Well, if there's nothing else, let's go ahead.
Captions aren't going to be here today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did we talk about that?
I did mention that, but thank you for the re-mention. Good. Cool. So let's go ahead and hit that sweet, sweet intro. We'll be right back. So, previously on Zoa Stardust, we met 5 young adults on their graduation day at Ursa Academy. Working together as a team, they had to make their way through 3 gates, each with its own challenges, all to try and secure themselves an elite spot among their peers. Through intellect, bravery, friendship, a little bit of luck, they brought that final gate actually crashing down, allowing everyone to succeed. but forcing themselves to be the last team through the pass. So, with that in mind, let's jump in. We're going to start with a bit of a montage here, a very cinematic aspect. I'm a bit of a cinephile, so you're going to get that sense from my storytelling methods. It's been 1 hour since the surprising end of this final test. Students are lined up, and you all receive your new uniforms with this patch of a major officer on it. There's pride and excitement just swelling throughout. The frustrations of that final test have kind of been just washed away in this moment where it's happening. You've done it regardless of how it went. It's done, and now you can bask in the knowledge of knowing you are a major officer at Ursa. The crowd cheers wildly as you re-enter this field that's now, by the way, all cleaned up. It's in 1 hour. It's like a beautiful empty field now. And you sort of parade through the field across, kind of waving to the crowd, each of you in your own quirky way. And we cut away from there to about 3 hours later. We're at the dock at a port on the stump here. Think of it like an airfield, really. Pelicans, and when I say pelicans are cargo class soldier ships. So very large ships, essentially, with big sails and whatnot. I guess I haven't really described ships in this world, have I yet? I'll get to that in a little bit, I promise. But just know that ships in this world are more Pirates of the Caribbean and less Star Trek. So it's a weird mix of the two. Anyway, this flying sail ship, what we'll call it, descends down, and there's a number of them, actually, and all of the major officers, all of these newly graduated officers, you and your peers, are in this airfield with your families or with your people who love you. The Pelicans are ready there to take you up to what you know as the C.A.V.E, the Cosmic Authority for Vigilant Explorers. The C.A.V.E is the port in space, if you will, the spaceport. Yeah, they're very steampunk, Kate. I gotta not look at the chat. I get myself distracted. It's right there. Anyway, so you all know you're allowed to bring whatever you can fit into your Ursa issue pack, which is essentially like a big duffel bag. So we're gonna go through here again, montage style, just kind of get a little insight into what each of you are doing on this airfield. We'll start with Milo. Milo, your moms are there. They have been double checking your pack. Your moms, Lupe and Joe. Joe says, "Are you sure you packed your toothbrush? Are you sure?"
I have my toothbrush.
But do you need a spare? Because when Lupe was in space the first time, and Lupe says, like, the only time, under her breath, but Joe says, she broke her toothbrush. It just cracked in two, and you know what she had to do? Use her finger.
I don't want to use my finger.
Yeah.
Do you have a spare?
No, God, we should get you a spare. And then she starts running away. Lupe grabs her and says, "Stop! He's gonna leave. We just need to." And she kneels down next to you on one knee. You're so small. And she looks down at you, and she says, "Milo, be safe, and just trust your heart.
Right.
Also, take care of that blade, okay? Just make sure you clean it regularly, right? Like I taught you. Okay.
Yeah. I'll do the best I can. I'll make you proud. I can't believe we got last place.
Hey, look, it made me nothing. It made me nothing. It doesn't matter. You did a huge thing. Your team is the one that helped everybody else out. Maybe there's... Look, it's not the... Just... And she wraps you up in a hug, and your Joe comes around and hugs you on the other side, and it's just this big snuggle fest because they're so much bigger than you. I can't get over the fact. I was thinking about this all week. You are 8 inches tall. That is so small. My God. My foot is about 8 inches tall.
I think maybe
right.
I have the measurements wrong or something. Because like maybe 8 inches when he's on all fours, but probably if he's standing up, maybe about a foot. Let's say a foot. He's about a foot
Let's
tall.
say he's a foot tall.
That's way better.
That's 4
I
inches
know, because like
better.
I was thinking about it too. I was like 8 inches. What the? And I was like, hang on, because like I got it off of like Animal Geographic stuff, and so I was like, oh, they probably weren't measuring it standing on its back 2 legs. My bad.
No worries. Either way, fantastic.
It's still
They're
small.
way bigger than you, and they hug you tightly, and they stand up, and they kind of kiss you goodbye, and then the Moonies kind of walk off as you turn and see Vitell, your now ex-girlfriend, and she's standing there, and she says, "Hey, Milo."
Hey, you doing okay after that?
Oh, yeah, no,
pretty
I'm-
rough in the
I'm good.
fight. I mean,
Yeah.
looks like your whole team was carrying you, literally.
Yeah, thanks for that, by the way, for the help. Your team really stepped up. I appreciate it. Look, I just want to make sure nothing's, like, weird between us, because we're about to go off, and, like, who knows what could happen. I don't know, but I just...
No, we're good. We're
Like,
good.
I really...
I get it. I mean, space is big. When are we ever gonna see each other again?
Yeah, I mean, but yes, that's exactly why, this had to happen, and I just... Okay.
No,
Be careful
good.
out there, okay?
You too.
I mean, I'll see you.
Hey, yeah,
But, like-
no. Well, you're gonna be great.
And you hear somebody call her name, Vitell, come on. And she turns around. Okay, I gotta go. I'll see you up there. And she turns and kind of runs back to her group. And yeah, Milo, you go board your ship. Yeah?
Yeah.
Kind of sadly.
Yeah.
Let's move over. Let's move over to Chomper. Chomper, you are packed. Your bag is packed. Honestly, I mean, you might have. What do you think you're doing?
Just going through the checklist with Flip. Flip is just Flip. Yeah, I'll check it. Flip. Yeah, I got it. Flip. Flip. I got everything I need in my bag. Okay, just we're good. We're good.
That's what they all say, until they forget something. And you turn around and see Marius Shelley, your old mentor, is standing there, and he walks over to you, hobbles over you.
Hello, Commander. How are you?
Pretty good, Chomper. I've gotta say, that was impressive shot put work in the final test there. You really took what I said and used it exactly the way that I intended you to. That's a good student.
If you can break it, I'll do it.
That's what I love about you, Chomper. I'm gonna miss you up there. Being down here, God, this sucks. I wish I could go up with you. It's
wish that
just
too,
there's
sir.
nothing to do down here. What do you?
Water allocation, sir. That's My accent's all over the place today. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's why I went with this one, because it's meant to be all over the place. He says, Chomper, I want you to know I'm going to look into, even more so, this mysterious death of your parents.
Thank you, sir. It's I mean, to die and doing what they love was a good thing, but to be poisoned, I just, it's awful.
Agreed. You can count on me. Now, you better get going. I don't want you to be late. You gotta get a good spot on that ship.
I just want to say, sir, I apologize for us being in last place. We tried. I for the good of the order, I thought we would have done better, but yes.
That stuff's all bullshit anyway. I never much believed in the whole order of the pack and that kind of thing. Look, if you have the heart and you have the determination, it doesn't matter where you are in the order. You can... Chomper... And he looks at you with this, like, love in his eyes, and he says, I love you, kid.
I love you too, sir. Thank you for everything.
All right, get out of here, as he starts kind of wiping tears away from his eyes. And he says, just remember, you're going to want a bottom bunk. Trust me. You get up top there, it gets real nauseous. Ooh. And then he starts hobbling away.
Thank you, sir. Flip. Flip says thank you, and you're a weird little man. Flip, no! Sorry.
That's all right. Screw you too, Flip. And you go board the Pelican. We're gonna pan over to Kira. Kira, Pozzo has been like literally like on you. Like he's like hugging you constantly, and like he's very like touchy. He just wants to like kind of like keep you safe. I
feel like she doesn't care at all. She's like loving it. She's like, go for it.
Good. He's
It is, a little annoying while she's trying to pack, and double check everything. Not pack, more like checklist. So
yeah.
She's like, okay, yep, we got that one.
Yeah.
2 toothbrushes, 2 toothpaste, 2 of everything, just in case.
Don't forget, there's a chance. I don't know if it rains in space, but if you need, you might want this parka. No, you don't think so?
You think it's gonna rain?
No, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little screwy in my face.
There could be weird substances that you
exactly.
Never know.
You never know what you might need. Just, you better throw it in there for good measure. And he just kind of helps you put it in. He says, Kira, God, you were really good yesterday. It was fantastic. Your team is so good. Do you like them? Are they good to you?
They're good, yeah. I mean, they're all, I feel like a lot better than me at some things, but I like them. I feel like they got my back. So I feel safe going up there with all of them.
Well, that's... As you know, at the Grand Archive, we're a family, and so it's important that you have a new family to look after you and help you out. And do they know how you like to eat your veggie burger? Because
I don't know if they know that yet, but I better tell them, I guess,
Yeah.
It's probably as good as how you make it, though, I will say that.
It's because I burn it. That's my
I
trick.
like it burned.
I've
That's
never
the
told
way.
you once, but I'm telling you now. The trick is to burn it, to overly burn it. Just, you have to be really bad at it. You've always told me you liked it. I just kept doing it.
The charcoal on top is really good. I like it a lot.
Well,
Gives it character.
I'm glad you know the truth now. Okay, and he hugs you again, and he says, and then, like, you see, like, everybody going, and he's just, like, hugging you, and he's not letting go.
I think this is where you have to let go. She's gonna take her hand, her paws, and put it on each side of his face, and just say, I didn't have a dad growing up, but you were pretty dang close to fill that hole in my heart. So thank you. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And I know that. And I'm gonna make you proud.
And then he just starts sobbing. He holds you and he says, "Oh, Kira, you've already made me so proud. All right. I love you. You better go."
I better go. Okay. See ya. Salute and I'll start walking towards the ship.
See ya. And he just starts crying. He pulls out like a handkerchief and he starts like dabbing his eyes. As you go aboard the ship. And we'll cut over to, let's see, we're gonna cut to Skipper. Skipper, you are with your family. They have been nearly annoyingly nagging this entire last 3 hours, basically. Your sister Pearl just keeps going over and over again, and then you climbed up to the cubes. Oh, sorry, she's British. Damn it! And then you climbed up the cubes, and wait, hang on, I gotta do a child British.
This is my favorite part.
That's good.
And then you climbed up the cubes, and you got to the top, and you jumped off, and you went like this. Yeah! And then, oh my gosh, Skipper, it was so cool. Yeah, you are the coolest person.
Thank you, Pearl. And I think Skipper actually is really enjoying that Pearl is so into it. Skipper has been packing in a suitcase, but she really isn't packing that much, so it didn't take that long. Like, they put in the clothes they needed, they put in a couple of instruments that they think will be important to them up in space. As Pearl is saying this, Skipper picks up a picture of their family and puts that in the suitcase. And Skipper says, well, what are you going to do for entertainment without me then?
And
Someone's
she
going to
says,
have to explore the ocean while I'm gone.
Do you mean me? I could do that. I could
Would
do
you?
that. Yes. No, I can. Of course. I mean, I've already been doing it, like, while you were here, so I'll just continue to do it, and I will, write notes for you so that you can look at my work when you get back.
I think that's a good idea. How about this? At nighttime, when the stars are out, I want you to go out to the ocean, and I want you to look up the stars, and I want you to think about me, and you'll know that I'm up in the stars thinking about you. How does that sound?
Yeah. I She
And
puts
then
her
I
head
lean down and I hug her, my little sister,
and
really
she
tight.
holds you, and you can feel a little bit of moisture forming
Oh no.
where her eyes
No.
are. And she pulls away and she wipes them, and she says, "Okay, Captain, I will do that." And then she kind of goes and starts writing in her journal. Beckett just comes over to you. "All right then, Skipper. Well, be safe out there. Did you know that space is just like one big vacuum? And if you're not careful, well, you should just always be careful."
That sounds more like you than me, Beckett.
Yes, it does. Oh no. Please be careful.
Skipper hugs Becca too and says, "Don't worry. I've got a whole team of friends who will try to ensure that I be careful.
Good.
But you better take care of our little Pearl here. And make sure
Oh,
that she doesn't get into too much trouble without me."
she's too much like you for that. And he gives you a hug, and he kind of goes over with her. Your dad, Conway, comes next, gives you a quick hug, holds you tight, and then he says, "All right, Skipper, well, we can't stay too long, of course. You need to go, we need to go, there's things to be done, but it's, wow, it was very, enlightening, coming here. You did good, and, you know, be safe up there, and, well, hope it all goes well."
"Thank you, Father." And Skipper's gonna give him another hug.
All right, he gives you a hug, and then he quickly ushers off. And your mom, Cordelia, she kind of takes her time coming to you. "Skipper, it's not too late to change your mind, you know, if you need to, if you want to."
"I know."
All right. Well, we'll miss you.
"Of course I'll miss you too. You don't think that I want to leave you. It's just that there's so much more out there to see. And then I can come back and I can tell you all about it, just like Grizz did when he was up in space."
Grizz. I swear. You're... Never mind. Well, I'm glad you are following your goals. I'm happy to see that you are succeeding in them. Please be safe. And she...
And give her a really tight hug.
Yeah. She holds you. All right, then. Well, you don't want to be late. Conway, kids, come on. And they all start ushering off. They all wave to you. Ta. And Pearl says, "Bye. Goodbye now. Lovely to see you, sis."
Oh, I love it when you do that funny voice, Pearl. You're so silly.
This is my silly voice. She dances off. And
can I say one thing that Skipper does? So as Skipper is finishing up packing, they double check that they have everything they need, and out of their drawer they take a beautiful old vintage looking sextant and they give it a polish and very carefully pack it away so that there's no chance that it's going to get broken during takeoff.
Amazing.
And for anyone who doesn't know, a sextant is like a nautical navigation device. You should look it up on the internet. They're beautiful. Yeah.
It's the sexiest of nautical devices. So just know that going in. Okay.
And they take off to where the ship is.
Great. And then we have Tennison. Tennison, you pack your things on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Your bag is ready. I mean, you've already basically had this planned for a while, I assume. You start walking out of your dorm for the last time. Your peers are all saying goodbye to people. What do you do?
I think this is one of those rare moments where Tennison isn't wearing the Tukanai. He took it off initially with the plan of giving it a little tune-up, tightening some bolts, making sure that there was enough space for upgrades should he think of something new to plug in. But in the middle of that, he's been catching glimpses of the rest of his team saying goodbye to their family and friends, and goes back and forth between watching one of them and looking at the Tukanai. and watching another one of them and looking back at the Tucanai. And remembering what was happening in that last test and how at the end of it, it just reminded him of the very first invention he tried to make here at Ursa. How he thought he had everything under control, and then at the last second, everything fell apart, and it wasn't the way it was supposed to go. And all of that imposter and self-doubt suddenly creeps back into him. Another family, the Tucanai. Another family, the Tucanai. Until that doesn't make any sense to do anymore. The Tucanai is as good as it's going to be. The bag is packed, so he puts it back on and starts heading to the ship.
And as you head to the ship, you board. You catch a glimpse of Gruss hugging his sister Fela. You just kind of get lost in that moment for a moment. He boards the ship, same one as you. And Fela is walking away. She seems to catch a glimpse of you, actually. And she just looks at you, smiles, and gives a nod, and then turns and walks away. And you hear a voice next to you. Tennison? And you see Gruss standing next to you.
Gruss. Congratulations.
And you as well. I wanted to thank you for your involvement. Really, what you did to help us pass the test. I think back on it, and I don't believe we would have succeeded at all if you had not done that. So I thank you for that.
I guess it feels weird to say, but you're welcome. Gruss, I know that there's still a lot to say between us, but I don't know what happens after this. And, you know, my entire life, my family has always been about what's next. What's the next thing we can invent? What's the next thing that's going to help? And I've seen things and people ruined by that question. What's next? But the one thing that changed the face of our planet, the energy that helped us evolve to this place, it came from out there. And that is going to be the final answer to what's next. And I'm going to be the one to find it.
Yes. Well. Good luck. And he turns and walks away. And you, along with everyone else, start to ascend in these ships. Now, these... Let's see. Let me go do this real quick. So, you all have said your goodbyes as these ships, these pelicans, start to rise up into the sky above, into the clouds, rising higher and higher. You're looking up constantly at these clouds, at where you're going to be going, but instinctively you also take another second to look down, and you see below, far below, in a perspective you've never had before, the the woods of Breckleaf, so small. The stump, your home for the last 4 years, a speck. Zoa is beneath you. And as you rise up, you are instinctively looking up now. As you pass through the clouds, the world changes. The crew of the ship hardly notices, but you and your peers, you are lost in the wonder of this. It's impossible not to be. The sky is gone, and in its place is this vast, brighter than you ever expected expanse. Every way you look, all around you, more stars than you ever could have imagined are up here. And as you come into view of the cave, you see it kind of getting closer and closer. I mean, it only takes you half an hour to get from the ground to the cave with how fast these ships can move. The cave, this shipping port, floating in space, orbiting Zoa. There's about 80 docking bays that make up the fringes of the station. Most of these bays, as you get close, you see that they're filled with all sorts of ships of different sizes and shapes, and that's on the fringes. The central hub of this station is a series of like buildings, essentially, almost like a port town. There are alleyways, there are rooftops with like shingles. It's not necessarily for you all, but you know, in a meta sense, it is essentially a small town just orbiting Zoa. These ships, though, you see a variety of them. The majority are sparrows, solar sparrows, collectively known just as sparrows. This is a Corvette class solar ship, used for speed, exploration, all that jazz. That's the majority of what you see. There's a good dozen pelicans, like the one that you're riding, that are also docked here. Again, these are larger cargo class solar ships, used primarily for transport of goods or people, typically going from Zoa and to and from Zoa to the cave and back and forth and that kind of thing. Also, maybe going out from the cave to some of the outposts that you know are out in space. There are tons of canaries. Canaries are the smallest ships in the fleet, holding up to maybe 6 average-sized metazoa. The canaries are flying across the port. They all have one sail, and you see a few people are just sitting there and kind of zooming across from ships to ships, from one side of the port to the other. One kind of flies by you as you are coming into dock, and you see another major officer kind of hey, as waves as he flies by. There are a multitude of canaries. Almost every ship has one attached to the side of it, almost like a rowboat kind of capacity. So that's canaries. Finally, you do see a large condor docking near you. Now, condors are frigate class solar ships. These are the largest, the best offensive and defensive capabilities by far. So condors are mostly used just in defensive measures and kept close to the cave. They go pretty slow, but they are tanks, essentially. and you only see a few around here because most of them are a little farther out, stationed as sort of watchtower, kind of guard-esque posts. Before we go any further, I should mention too just how ships work in space. So a real quick insight for all of you, all of our audience. Like I said before, picture these like pirate ships essentially. These are not sleek modern ships. They are sailing ships. They have sails. They have wooden and metal, copper, platinum hulls and masts. But of course, they're a little more steampunk than that, too. They have interesting and unique differences, each of them. For simplicity's sake, let me just say that these ships are called solar ships because they are powered by solar cells, which is a technology that was created Arcana Tech wise. Well, actually, it's technically not Arcana Tech, I guess, because it's not dust based, it's solar based. It's a newer kind of technology that only has come up in the last 60 years or so. And with that technology, these sails are made. And so these are solar sails, basically. There's no, boost on the back of the ships that blast them off. There's no wind in space. It's technically, light waves is what I'm calling this science. The sails charge from the light around them. Stars, the sun is a star. So any kind of light they absorb and then they charge into their cells, and that is what technically they catch on that light, and then they just get propelled forward. So it is very much just like sailing on the ocean. You need the light waves, you need the wind, you need the sails billowing in order to make that happen. Okay, I've rambled enough about ships. There's a lot more to talk about, but we'll skip that for now. I hope that makes sense to everybody. I hope you can picture that in your minds. You all dock, and you are all led to your temporary quarters. You know that you're meant to be stationed at the cave for about 2 weeks. To get your bearings, to kind of, find your sea legs, to your space legs, and to get your assignments, right? Your team assignments before you split into your teams and then are sent off on duty. So these barracks are clean. They're very well kept. Ultimately, they're somewhat dull on the inside. You're not sure what you were expecting, but they're just pretty plain. In fact, the entirety of the cave doesn't really have the same amount of zeal that the stump did, about the amount of life in it. That being said, there is a lot of flora here that has been brought up from Zoa to give life, give oxygen, and whatnot. Oh, that reminds me. The last thing I should talk about about solar ships is how the gravity fields work. So every solar ship has a point on the top and bottom of it that create this sort of spherical field around it. And that is how it has a sense of gravity within. And also it's an oxygen generator within. So you can breathe without helmets on the deck of a ship. You can there's gravity on that ship as well, but going outside of that field, you are then at the behest of space itself with no oxygen and no gravity. Yeah, golden. Yes, you are right. So the cave is very much the same in its gravity field, except on a huge larger scale. So there's a big gravity field around the cave, so you can walk down the street and be surrounded by space, essentially. It's a fantastic thing. So okay, there's that. Anyway, in your rooms, you find your Ursa Major kits. Each of them, each of you has one essentially, and each of them contains a few things for you. You have a med pack. So each of you have a med pack. Each of you have a standard issue dust shot, which is like a miniature crossbow that uses dust and shoots kind of like a little blast of energy, and then each of you has an echo, and you are all trained on how to use an echo and how to use a dust shot and how to use a med pack, for the record. But an echo is your evolving communication and habitat originator. I love my acronyms. So, again, that's evolving communication and habitat originator. So it's a little device that basically, it's almost like a little collarbone. It sits on your collarbone. It's like a little necklace, but it's not loose. It's a little more sturdy than that. And it just sits there, and it taps into your, skin or fur or feathers or whatever. It kind of connects into you here on your chest in a way that there's also a small dust generator on it, so it does need to be recharged nightly. However, this has many uses. It is a speech translator and it works off of dust. It works in a magical capacity. So we're not gonna deal with the whole language barriers here when it comes to space stuff. Just getting that out of the way now. So for the most part, you should be able to at least understand other languages in different societies, different civilizations out there, and they should be able to understand you, is the idea. So it's a speech translator and emitter. It also doubles as a communication device among your team.
Great.
All right. So you can communicate from, we'll say, a few miles away, a few kilometers away for the rest of the world. And also, if you need it to, you can touch it and activate a small gravity field around your head, which basically will give you breathable air for up to 8 hours. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So a habitat originator, aka oxygen, and evolving communication, aka giving you languages. That is your echo device. Now, you all have a little bit of time here before your orientation thing starts. So what do you want to do? You're all in the same dormitory, or I should say barracks, not really a dorm. You're all in the same kind of barracks hall. But you're in different rooms and whatnot. I'm not sure if you guys all want to do something together by any means, but yes. What do you think you do? Anybody have an idea on what they personally want to be doing right now?
Is the cave like a place where we're gonna be a lot, or are we just waiting right now until we're assigned a ship? So what is this new?
Yeah, you're supposed to be on the cave for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Until you are assigned. Well, you're going to be assigned a ship soon, but it typically takes about 2 weeks for you to get an assignment and sent off on a ship. So yeah, the barracks are kind of a temporary mainstay, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I would probably unpack a little bit, but probably go find the group and Skipper at least.
cool.
Yeah, I think Milo's gonna go find Skipper.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna adventure around
Going to find
and
Skipper.
look for trouble. He's gonna find Skipper first.
You guys are not going to believe this. Tennison does also want to go visit Skipper.
Okay.
She's the satellite friend.
Chomper,
Everybody
what about you?
satellites around her.
It's the same direction.
I'll just follow the group.
So you all kind of
And that's a good thing because Skipper wants to go exploring. So you guys are going to have to find Skipper.
I love
Oh
it.
man.
Damn it.
I love it. the four of you are kind of like walking around the halls and kind of find each other, and you all go to Skipper's room at the same time and open the door, and she's not there. Her roommate is her bunkmate. Is there. Yeah, you know what? I think. Hang on, I'm gonna change this in my head because that's not how barracks look. Barracks are like a long. You guys all have one long room.
Yeah.
Never mind. There's just a barrack hall. So you all look around at each other through the crowds of other peers and whatnot, and you do find each other, but none of you see Skipper. So you can go find Skipper if you want. Skipper, let's see. There's the docks. You can look at the ships and that kind of stuff. There's also, you know, that there is the like the bridge of the whole station, like where, like, you know, the commanding officers probably are. I
want to go look at the ships.
Cool. Going down, looking at the ships, you find, again, tons of sparrows. There's like a lot of sparrows, but each one is unique. You notice like there's a few that look a little more aged. Maybe they've been through some things. You find some that look really brand new, that are like top of the line, barely a scratch on them. You see metazoa of all kinds of different ages and different, species that are, working on the ships or, just talking and whatnot as you walk by.
I think I'm looking for a specific ship, and I'm trying to remember what we named it, but I'm looking for Grizz's ship.
Sure.
From his time here.
Buckley's Sting.
Buckley's Sting.
Okay. Why don't you...
Do you want me to roll some stuff?
Let's roll something. It's been an hour. Let's roll something.
All right. I'll roll my dice. Cool. So yeah, Skipper is specifically looking for Buckley's Sting because she remembers all these stories that her mentor, Grizz, the sea otter, told her about his adventures in space, specifically on his ship, the Buckley Sting. And so that is what she is looking for. All right, and now I will roll. Okay. I got an 8 and an 8, so I'm gonna go. Wait, no, I got an 8 and an 8 for 16.
Oh man.
And then my effect die is also a D8.
Fantastic. Well, this was a 7. It was like barely a challenge. Because here's the thing, like everything about this ship. You've asked Grizz repeatedly about this ship and everything about it, and so you're looking down the line. You walk like not even 5 minutes down this dock, and you instinctively just lock onto it. You see it very well might be the oldest looking ship in the entire dock. It's a Sparrow, so it is built for speed and exploration. It has, the sails are all, furled. They're like most of these ships have people on them and whatnot. This specific ship does not have anybody on it at the moment. It is just kind of sitting there. The gangway is down.
I'm gonna go on it.
Okay. You start heading up that ship. The rest of you, what are y'all doing?
I'm looking for her. But since they're good friends, would Milo have a feeling that she's looking for if anything, she's going to be finding this legendary ship that she won't shut up about?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, I think we'd definitely be asking Milo, where do you think we should look first?
I will say too, Milo, that there is also the possibility that maybe Skipper was looking for some of her heroes as well, because I think the two of you, in addition to like all of the cool stories of Grizz's ship, when you guys both went to summer camp, to the Ursa summer camp together before you went to the academy, you know, the legends told, the amazing adventures of some of the other commanding officers that are still in play, that are still in command. I mean, those were things that you all like loved. And although Grizz was always the direct mentor and a favorite of yours, of Skipper's specifically, I'm just saying there's also, in addition to the cool ships, there's also cool people as well to look into. But
Okay.
yeah, you can go ahead and head towards the docks. Sounds like.
Yeah, and I think it's more like he's just like vaguely, like, I have a vague idea of where she's going, and so he's kind of walking around in that area just seeing if he can spot her.
Okay.
Because I don't think he really retained what that ship looks like.
Sure.
So.
Why don't you go ahead
Big
and
ears, doesn't listen.
go ahead and
Yeah.
roll me a check here, Milo. Since the group is following you, I'm gonna say you make the roll.
Alright.
See if you can find this ship or Skipper.
Okay.
While you're doing that, you do a few of you kind of catch some of your peers, like Ted and Fred, the Panda brothers. They are kind of walking down the hall, talking about grabbing some food down at the mess hall. You see Max does walk by as well, kind of gives a wave, and he seems to be going on opposite direction towards the what do you call it, the bridge, towards where like the commanding officers and whatnot are. And then also Gruss and Vitell seem to be going off together to do something in a different direction.
Oh.
Hate that.
Oh.
What's up, Rebecca? What'd you get?
So let's see. I rolled I can't see what the total is. Can anybody see what my total is? I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my screen.
Yeah, I see you got a 6, a 5, a 3, and a 1.
And a 1.
Yeah.
15 altogether.
15.
Okay.
I can't math.
Two.
This isn't, and for the record,
11.
since this
It's
isn't
not-
like a dangerous scenario, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna give you any complications for rolling a 1 here.
Okay.
This is more of just like a straight up
Okay.
check.
Well, I'm gonna combine the 6 and the 5 for 11. Is that
Great.
right?
Yeah, and that's good because that's actually what you need to beat
I
this
only
one.
have
It's
so
a
many
challenge.
fingers.
So, Milo, you do spot a ship that you think might be Buckley's Sting, and she might be down there, but you're not sure. You have to walk down that way. Is that what
Okay.
you all want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna head that way.
Let's see. Sure.
I might catch up with you all later, and I'm gonna walk where Max went.
Cool.
Of course,
Fair.
you all
Fair.
Cool.
have fun.
Yeah.
All right, so
See,
Chomper,
Kira,
Tennison, and Milo are
watch.
heading towards the docks. Kira, you're following Max. That's right? Cool.
Mhm.
Okay, you all start heading towards the docks, going down towards the Sting. Kira, I'll come back to you in a moment. So, Skipper, you board this ship and immediately hear a voice down below. Let me find the voice. Okay,
Is that the voice?
that's not the voice. You hear a voice and say, it says, well, now, who could this be? And you look over, and out of the shadows of, like, below the hole, you see a very large coconut crab start kind of, like,
Whoa.
kind of slowly walking, kind of crawling its way out. He looks old as hell. He looks grizzled and old. He has a major officer's uniform on. But yeah, he's just kind of coming out, and he sits back on some of his like hind legs, and looks at you and says, "Well, never thought I'd see another otter up here."
My name is Skipper Ottington of the Sunreef Ottingtons.
You know Grizz, do you?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
This was his ship, wasn't it?
It was. I sailed with him back then. Excuse me, where are my manners? The name's Hector. Hector Snipshaw.
I knew it.
Yeah, and you know it. You know Hector Snipshaw. He was the he worked with Grizz on the Buckley Sting for almost the entirety of Grizz's time there. He came along maybe 5-10 years after Grizz took control of the Sting, and he is basically there for like repairs and like maintenance and that kind of thing. Like he's the one who actively keeps the ship running, like damage, repairs and that kind of thing. So
Kate is right. Coconut crabs are terrifying. And also, there's a picture of one that's the size of a trash can.
Yeah,
it looks like a hermit crab, but giant.
That's pretty much what I based him off of. Yeah.
I've heard so many stories about you and Grizz, about the time that you caught those space bandits, and then also the time when the gravity shield failed, but you were able to fix it just in time. And
oh, you're taking me back there, kid. Yep. Those were the glory days. And he starts kind of walking around, going back to his routinely maintenance and whatnot that he was doing. He is we'll say he's a blue coconut crab. I like that. Yeah. Cool. Blue coconut crab. At this time, your friends catch up to you, and you all hear Skipper talking to someone up on this ship. Instinctively, I'm going to say you just walk up the gangplank, and you see Hector.
Hello, sir.
Permission to come aboard?
Sure. Permission granted. I'm guessing you're with Skipper here, yeah?
These are my friends. This is Milo, Chadwick, Chomper, Kira, and Tennison.
Fantastic. Well, you,
Oh, and Flip. Sorry, Flip.
Flip. Language not found. Flip.
That's so freaking funny. Good. He takes all of this in. He's working. All right, well, I'd give you the grand tour, but not much to see at the moment. So why don't you all, I don't know, I'm guessing, what, your first day?
That easy to tell?
Well, you've been around long as I have. You pick up a few things. Oh, and he calls down below and he says, Dresden, get up here. He says, she likes to take her time. Give her a moment. Y'all kind of like look around the deck of the ship here for a second. You see there are dust cannons. There are 4 dust cannons, 2 on each side of the deck. Actually, I'm sorry. We'll say the dust cannons are below, but you do look over the edge and you see where they would come out. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the wood and the copper made of this, I mean, Tennison, from your perspective, it's so outdated. This ship should not still be in the fleet. This stuff was outdated 10 years ago. And
isn't she beautiful?
But it does have a lot of,
Yeah, it
Skipper.
has
Sorry, go
charm.
Very charming. Very charming.
Old.
Skipper and Milo, knowing some of the tales of this ship and what it's gone through, I mean, the two of you kind of like just are kind of nerding out because you see like this huge scorch mark on the deck, and you're like, "Ooh, that must be from the time that the fire, you know, whatever."
When the Fire Nation invaded.
Yeah, the Fire Nation. After a few moments, you hear someone coming, and you see a pretty average-sized copperhead snake slither through from below. She has she's wearing a major officer's uniform. I'll let you figure out how. And she kind of slithers up, and she says, "Hey, name's Dresden. What's up? You all new?" Cool.
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you.
You as well.
Captain Dresden.
Oh, no. I'm not the captain.
Officer Dresden.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm a little nervous.
I'm engineering, Arcana Tech department. Yeah.
Oh, I have a lot of questions for you.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's fancy. What is this? She kind of slithers over to your Tukanai.
Oh, well, I'm hoping to be an Arcana technician too, and so I fiddle around and made something to help fiddling a little easier. And
Yeah.
Tennison presses a button to show the arms come out and wiggle them a little bit.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Let me show you something over here. And she kind of slithers over and starts showing you a mechanism that I'm not going to take the time to make up right now. So she starts showing you that. You get the sense that she is the other side of the coin. Hector is all about keeping this thing running, keeping it alive. Dresden is definitely looking to make updates and keep this thing like relevant. So you all kind of explore the ship for a while. Kira, let me grab some water and we'll move to you. Kira, you are following Max. Do you think you try to catch up with him, or are you trying to like keep your distance and just kind of see what he's up to? Are you muted right now?
No.
You're not muted? Are you muted?
Amy, we can't hear you for some reason.
Hang on.
I think make sure your microphone on your thing isn't all the way
now?
down there.
There we go.
Okay, I must have hit this accidentally. So.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Sorry. All right, so I don't think she would be like creepy walking behind him, but she doesn't want to interrupt him if he's going somewhere. So first she's going to make sure he's not doing something important. And if it looks like he's just wandering, she'll probably catch up to him. So
Okay.
Does it look like he's on a mission to go somewhere or talk to somebody?
Yeah, actually, a bit. He does look very determined. You see him go down a hallway. A few officers pass you. You just kind of like, I belong here, kind of thing. You do feel like you're crossing into, specifically, you go into a building that is very tall and seems to be like a command center for the cave. Now Max is he goes right in. Nobody stops him. There's no security or anything like that necessarily. Do you follow him?
Are we supposed to be going in there?
Nobody's told you exclusively you can't go in there.
With that in mind, she'll go. It's not technically against the rule.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
So Max, you follow him in. It's just like a big lobby on this floor, but he goes up the stairs and you follow him up the stairs. And he goes and he knocks on the door of he goes to a door. You see him about to knock, and then he puts his hand down and he puts his ear to the door, and he starts listening instead. what do you do?
I'm gonna creep up behind him as stealthily as I can and go, "You're not supposed to be here, son." In his ear.
He jumps. Oh my god. Holy crap, Kira, what are you
doing here? What are you doing here?
I'm here to... Did you follow me?
Yeah, kinda. That's what I do, you know.
Shh. Okay, jeez, that's... I'm...
Who's in there?
Okay, that's Sergeant... Hang on, let me find the name.
Look down at the roster.
Yeah. That is Sergeant Goodboy's office, and look, I'm here to try and see if he can tell me where my sisters are stationed. I'm trying to figure out where they're at. Shay, I know, is off on duty. Shay, I know, is off on duty, but Tamber, I thought, was supposed to be here. And she's not. She told me she was going to greet me when I got here, but I'm just curious where she's at. Sergeant Goodboy has always looked out for my family, so I'm just... But somebody's in there with him. And he puts his ear back to the door.
I'm gonna listen too.
Okay,
Do I
you
recognize the
listen. What?
Do I recognize a voice at all?
You don't.
Okay.
You hear a voice that sounds like it's probably Sergeant Goodboy. And he's talking to someone else. This voice seems to somehow be, like, filtered a bit. You're not entirely sure what you're listening to, but it sounds kind of like the filter used when you speak to Pudge. Who, I'm not sure if we've talked too much about Pudge on stream, but Pudge is Skipper's best friend from home. And he's also a member of Ursa. I forgot to mention this back when we were leaving the stump, but Pudge is part of the support track, and therefore he stays on ground authority there. So he is also a major officer now, but he's on ground authority. I'm sorry, I forgot to give you a goodbye with Pudge. Oh no.
Pudge is a fish.
Pudge is a
So
fish
everyone
also.
knows.
I forgot to... Sometimes I forget to talk about things that seem...
It's okay. I realized I should have made him my fun fact today. Like, I was like, oh no, I should have introduced Pudge.
It's okay. It's
We
alright.
really love Pudge,
Really good.
everyone.
He's
Pudge is
wonderful.
Yeah, so the filter seems to... Good question, Kate. Not be coming necessarily from the echo, but more so just from the fact that it's pushing through water. Because Aquazoa, as all of you know, Aquazoa are using something called a hydrodome that is a type of arcana that allows fish and other fully aquatic zoa, aka Aquazoa, to move around on land and whatnot. But you hear a voice from inside say, "It's egregious! 43 years of operation, and only 3 Aquazoa have ever been to space, myself excluded. We demand that exclusively water-breathing metazoa are recruited in the same capacity as anyone else." And you hear Sergeant Goodboy, "I sympathize with your cause, I do. But, Ambassador, the risk is too large. What happens when they get out there in the middle of the vast sea of nothing and the tech shuts down? It's still in a testing phase. The fact that you are here at all, sir, is a violation according to my Arcana Tech division. The Hydrodome is not ready for space use. Not yet." And, this ambassador, apparently, says, "And you don't care what they're saying about you down there? You have many enemies, Sergeant." And, Goodboy says, "Look, bottom line, I will not risk losing lives just to make diplomats happy. Good day." And then the door slides open, and you and Max jump back to see a very heroic looking golden retriever standing at the door. He just opened it, and just behind him is this catfish within a hydrodome. he is wearing sort of like robe type, things around his catfish body within the hydrodome, but then also he has like this suit of Arcana Tech armor, more like a functioning suit that allows him that kind of houses his hydrodome so he can walk and function with, phalanges and things. So yeah, it's got big old whiskers. it's a big catfish.
Big.
Anyway, they both look at you two, and Max says, Sergeant Goodboy, so sorry, sir. I was here to ask you, and he just walks right over to Max and he says, "Ha, Max! Good to see you, kid. I was just finishing a meeting here with the ambassador. If you will, sir, I have another appointment." And the ambassador walks out. This is not the end of this, Sergeant. And he walks down the hallway, and Sergeant Goodboy says, "Now then, Max, who's your friend?"
Kira, sir.
Kira.
Nice to meet you.
And he
Swiftfoot.
pulls out his paw for a big paw shake. And he says, "Fantastic, Kira. Good to meet you. Glad you're joining the ranks. Now, Max, what can I do for you?" And Max says, "Well, sir, it's just that Tamber was supposed to meet me here, and she hasn't, so I'm just kind of, Kira, you're very good at reading people.
Oh, no.
Good boy his demeanor shifts pretty drastically.
Oh, no. Okay.
He says, "Well, Max, perhaps that's something we should discuss together. Kira, would you mind maybe down the hall, actually, there's a small refreshment station. Would you mind just
Of course.
just waiting there for a few moments?"
Absolutely. I will be there.
Fantastic.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. Max, I'll be over here if you need me.
He looks kind of, okay, sure. And he walks into the room with Good Boy, and the door closes, and you walk down the hall towards the refreshments.
Oh.
Back on the ship, what are you guys doing?
Can we take her out for a spin?
Hector says, "Oh boy, you really are like Grizz. No, we can't take her out for a spin. Sorry. It's not exactly, allowed right now. We're making repairs on her. Until we are assigned a crew, it's just, we're not allowed to, so."
I understand.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
What is Snipshaw's role on the ship? Did we say?
He is
Like, can we tell from his
repairs
uniform?
and maintenance for Snipshaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the thing: you five have roles of like commanding officers, major officers. There's also support track people who help everything function, and the crew of a ship needs more people on it than just the five of you. So, although you five are like major officers in that capacity, there are other support track people who get hired on and trained in other roles to just basically act as sailors and crewmen and whatnot. So, although Dresden is quite good at Arcana Tech, she is not, you would guess, the Arcana technician of this ship. She's engineering. So more like an assistant to the Arcana Tech, that kind of thing. Yeah, good question. For the sake of it, we'll say that they have their major officer uniforms, because they are major officers technically, but we'll say they're without maybe the patch that goes with it, which makes them like a officer in charge, I guess. I don't know. We're kind of making this up as we go, delineating the two. So because I want to make clear that they are to be respected and whatnot. They are major officers, but they are less so. You know what? Let's just say they're not major officers. They are just respected crewmen, basically.
So it's like enlisted men versus officers.
Thank you. That's what I needed to
Yay,
say.
Bradley!
Yes, come through.
All right. So yeah, they are enlisted in Ursa. They are not major officers.
Okay.
Cool.
Where's
I think-
Kira? Oh, sorry.
She
She ran off with Max. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
maybe, just maybe, we might have some little cubs running around.
Chomper,
I'm
jeez.
not
I'm
sure
just
if
saying.
that works. Does that
They
work?
could adopt. You're adopted. Calm down.
Listen here. The rules,
Sorry, Hector,
the rules
sorry.
of the
I
rules of
did not think of
reproduction.
that.
The rules of reproduction in Zoa have yet to be talked about or figured out. So listen, anything could happen. This is a magical world. Okay.
Cheetah wolves.
Would they be hyenas?
Annie, we can't hear you, but I'm sure it's very funny what you're saying. No.
Oh no, I still can't
Still
hear
can't
it.
hear you.
Okay. Well.
Oh, now we
you
can
are-
hear
there
you.
you are.
We got you.
All right. To keep us moving here, the four of you are on the ship. Hector says, "All right then, kids. Well, Dresden and I need to get back to a few of the repairs we're making. So, why don't you all skedaddle? Hopefully, I'll see you again.
Is there anything we can help with?
You want to help?
Yes.
I mean, no offense, but oh, what can you do? I mean, we're just doing basic repairs. This is
Tennison is very smart.
all right.
I'd love to at least give it a try.
Threw him under the bus, didn't you?
I mean, it's out of the
Go to
bag
work.
now.
So he says, "Okay, hell, why not? Dresden? Yeah, sure, I could use the help. He honestly seems very smart, so let's do it." And she says, "Tennison, you're with me." And then she takes you down below deck. Hector says, "All right, well, the rest of you," and he looks up and he says, "Need to make a few repairs on that sail up there. Who's good at climbing?"
Oh, I can do that. Milo, do you want to help me?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Great.
He's like trying to
Uh,
sneak away.
Oh, we just got rated, you guys, for Make Believe
Yay!
Live.
Hey! Raid.
Aw.
Right.
Also, thanks for the
That's so
subs
nice.
too. So, hey everybody, hey Raiders. Welcome to Zoa Stardust. Quick recap. This is our second episode, so you haven't missed too much in the grand scheme of things. But these are 5 major officers of Ursa, which is kind of a space protection agency, if you will, of Zoa, which is a world of anthropomorphic animals. As you can see on each of their frames there, they are each a different kind of animal. And currently they are at what we call the C.A.V.E, which is kind of the big space station orbiting the planet. And they are newly graduated from the academy, so they are just kind of getting the hang of things here. So feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and maybe people will answer them for you. Thanks for joining us. And if you like what you see, please follow us. That'd be great. But yeah, we're really close to 150, it looks like.
Oh, we hit 150. We did.
We hit 150.
What?
Well,
Wow.
my tracker is
So,
obviously off.
200.
Let's get to 200.
200.
Skipper is going to scamper up the rigging to the
Mhm.
mast.
Milo. He's gonna attempt it.
Okay. Make me a roll here. Make me a dice roll.
All
Nice.
right.
Um,
Milo,
Skipper.
Well-
heights?
while Emma does this, we are playing Cortex Prime, for the record. If anybody's not familiar with that, it basically just uses dice pools. You add different dice into your pool, you roll them, and then get your results.
Skipper is very comfortable with space or with ships because she grew up by the sea, and so she is she is very confident that she can do whatever she needs to do on this ship.
Love it.
Milo's pretty confident that he might be able to get up there because jumping bean, he is pretty agile. However, he does not know what he's doing technical wise. So here we go. Whee!
All right.
Oh, wow.
And Milo rolled better than me.
That just
love
means
it.
I can get up there.
What did you two get?
I got a 13 with an effect die of a d6.
Cool.
But two of my dies are ones. If that means that I get complication.
Let's say, yeah, actually. So I will give you 2 plot points. I'm going to give you 2 plot points to give you a D8 complication. And here's what's going to happen for you, Skipper. You start to... You are getting a little too excited and maybe trying to impress Hector a little bit. And you, as you're kind of climbing up the rope, again, the rope ladder, if you will, the what do you call those things that go around?
The rigging.
The rigging. You miss a rung, and you kind of flip over, and you're dangling off the rigging. And we'll say that in doing so, your hand gets twisted a little bit up in the rope, and you kind of pinch like a nerve in your hand.
Ow.
So your left hand is what's the term?
Sprained?
Sprained. You've sprained your left hand. It's going to be a D8 complication for you. Okay, let's see.
Do I need an effect die for this or nah?
Would you need an effect die for this? Yes. Well, it depends on if you're actually trying to repair the ship.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
So I'll do. That's an 11 for me to get up there,
Cool.
and it's a D10 for the effect die.
Okay. An 11 will get you up there. So you're a little ahead of Skipper, so you don't even see when she falls. So you're already at the top. And you, we'll just say instinctively, you're looking at this, you're like, oh, I see what happens. This just needs to connect here, and you slide it back in. And then Hector calls up to you as somebody should be helping Skipper, I guess.
I guess.
Chomper. Would you
Oh, yeah.
mind?
Mind climbing up there?
Perhaps if I just let go, you could catch me.
Oh, why not? Yeah. Sure. Gravity. Yay.
All right. Roll for that, Chomper.
Roll it.
While Hector's
God.
looking at that, he's like, oh, boy,
Dangly.
that's going to be something. And he looks back to you, Milo, and he says, now just take that device I gave you and run it across the top of the sail where the seams meet. And you do so, and it perfectly cements itself back together, like kind of just like synthetic cloth. And
So nifty.
you roll that D10 effect you just got, and that's how much you're going to repair this sail for. Because ships
no!
actually
I'm so
have-
sorry.
What's up?
I am still familiarizing myself with the shapes of these dice, and I said the wrong thing. That's
Oh.
a D6.
Okay, we'll roll the D6 then. Either
Okay.
way.
Sorry, I just didn't want to.
Sure.
It's a 1.
A 1? Okay, well that's fine. This is just to repair the
Okay.
ship. So you end up kind of
It's messy.
doing an okay job. Hector kind of looks up at it and he's like, I'm gonna have to repair that later. Okay.
Oh, we just messed this all up.
And Chomper, what about you? Did you catch Skipper?
Yeah, I got a 12, and my effect die is a D8.
Fantastic. Okay, you do catch Skipper. Skipper just lets go and
Come on, water noodle, I got you.
One of these days, he's not gonna catch you.
I love it.
Oh no, I don't believe that. Chomper will
I'll
always
catch
be here to
all
catch
y'all.
my
You're
foe.
all small.
I'm gonna climb
So-
down. Thanks.
It's there that while part with you guys. Go back to Kira. Kira, you are walking down the hall towards the refreshments area. And somebody passes you. And Kira, there is... Captain Ripa Longshore is... You don't know too many of the people in Ursa, like the commanding people and whatnot, but you do know Captain Ripa Longshore. She is from Aridia. She was friends with your parents. And she's a kangaroo.
Yes, I love
She goes by you, and you just like you see her. You're almost like starstruck for a moment as she kind of hops by you, on your way to the refreshments. Do you want to do anything about that, or are you just gonna let her go?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. What did you say her name was? One more time. I gotta write it down.
Captain Longshore.
Captain Longshore.
Yeah.
Okay. And she knew my parents?
She knew your parents.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to her. I don't know if we ever decided my parents' names. How awful is that? Oh well. I'm gonna run up. Captain Longshore.
She turns to you and looks at you.
Captain, Kira Swiftfoot. I believe you knew my parents. The Swiftfoot.
Swiftfoot. Yes, I do know them. Oh, I knew them. Sorry, that was wrong. Kira.
Say hello. Yes. Hi.
Oh, she
Good to see you.
brings you in for a hug. And she says, "Sorry, I'm a touchy-feely person." And then she pulls you back. And she says, "Goodness, I haven't seen you since you were a cub. Wait, are you the youngest one, or
Yeah.
is that
Well, I'm in the middle.
middle? Oh, okay. No, you
Asthma,
were.
the one with the I
I
couldn't
see. Yes.
quite
Well,
make it.
you're here. That's
I am.
fantastic.
I am. I'm very happy to be here. We barely got through, but made it. Made it.
I love it. Well, let's catch up, perhaps. I would love to do more now. I'm being called down to see Commander Strongpaw. And you know Commander Strongpaw is the head honcho of Ursa since its culmination. He has been in charge the whole time, and he is still here.
Strong paw.
Yeah, Commander Strongpaw. She says, it seems urgent, so I need to go do this because it could be big. But I'm just gonna be. Do you want to just hang around here? I'll just hop back over to you after I get done.
Absolutely. I would love that. It's wonderful seeing you.
Fantastic.
way.
Yep, you too. Okay. I'll be back. Okay. And then she hops away. And she goes.
Hugged me.
I love it. Great. You go sit by the refreshments. And how do I want to do this? You this is tricky. This is tricky.
What?
Role
First of all,
play.
what they got? What do they got at the refreshments?
They got some delicious drinks, some nice little snackies. You tell me what they got. I don't know.
All right. Well, yeah. Donuts. We thinking some donuts.
Donuts. They have
She's
kale
finding
chips.
whatever's sweet. Yeah,
Um,
she's eating something sweet
Yeah,
because
carrot
she's finally
sticks.
through all this stuff. She's stressed, and she
Lemonade.
just met one of her heroes, so she's gonna be chilling out for a second. to eat some,
Fantastic.
donuts.
You. This is how I'm gonna do this. This is really lame. You drop a carrot. You drop a donut. You drop a piece of your donut on the ground, and you're like, "Oh no, I didn't pick that up." And so you lean down, and down below there's a vent down here, and you catch a little bit of voice coming out through the vent, and it's just enough to make you be interested in what's happening because it says, you just hear a voice say, "End of everything." And all of a sudden, you're interested. Thank you. This is me forcing you into this plot point because I needed to continue the story, and I couldn't figure out a better way to do it. That's a bad game monitor, everybody. But
No!
And monitor, I mean moderator. Anyway, let's keep going. So, Kira...
She's clumsy. She drops donuts all the time.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
So, Kira, you are listening to this conversation now. You hear the other voice, Captain Longshore's voice, say, "I'll do whatever it takes to. Just, where do you need me?" And the Commander Strongpaw, you're assuming, says, "Captain, our farthest Ursa outposts have gone dark. One went silent last week. 2 more we lost yesterday. This isn't good. We've had 3 teams go out in the past week to check on that first outpost. None of them have returned or checked in. Captain, the Duchess Serene is our last best hope. We need answers. And I have a new lead. This morning, a unique frequency was discovered at a set of unknown coordinates past the Nebula Sea. As you know, that is uncharted territory, but it's specifically calling to us, Rippa. Now my gut says that's connected. And you hear her say, "Commander, we will go. Of course, I trust you. You've never led us astray." And he says, "I just hope this is enough this time. Here, this data sphere contains the coordinates. You gotta do this for me, Captain. Like I said, this could mean the end of everything. I don't know what's out there, but it is swallowing up our outposts. These things are... whatever it is, for the good of Zoa, you..." And then all of you hear it before you see it. There's a pop in the air. A loud, like, and all of you just instinctively, like, kind of, what I'm trying to say, hunker down.
Yeah, yeah.
Brace
yourselves. And as you do that, you those of you out on the ship, you're not sure what that was, but as you look out, where there wasn't before, just on the outskirts of this gravity field, you see a humongous vessel, unlike you've ever seen before. This is some sort of in a meta sense for my players, this is like a legit spaceship.
Oh.
It is covered in like cannons and like futuristic looking weaponry. It is made of this impossibly black metal, sleek, but about the size. The vessel itself is about the size of like the Stump back home. It is humongous. You look up at that. In that same moment, Kira, right as he says these words to you, or to Captain Longshore, you don't see it, but you hear it, and you feel it. Explosion rocks the building. The rest of you on the dock look over as the command center of the cave has just exploded. Kira, you are thrown across the room, debris scattering across the area. You are barely keeping your consciousness as you shift rubble off of you. The rest of you down in the ship, what are you doing?
Oi, Hector, do we have any cannons or any defenses whatsoever on the ship?
Oh, shit. Below. Tennison, you and Dresden are below, actually working on the dust cannons of the ship at this moment, getting them recharged with the dust generators. She's kind of teaching you how to do it. You kind of already know how, but you're letting her do it anyway. Hector, she hears this. You both come up on deck and see this happening. As this chaos is going around, you see these strings of metal. These like large. I mean, they're far enough away. They're coming off of this vessel, this command ship, if you will, and they are kind of streaming down like serpents in a way. Towards they're breaking through the gravity field with no effort, which I should have mentioned also acts as sort of a defense shield, but it is breaking through with no effort, and it is getting to it's coming down towards you all. As it hits the dock area, as you all are starting, like he's unfurling the sails, you're ramping up the generators and whatnot to get going. You see one of these serpentine machines starts breaking apart, and it completely destroys itself.
Mantles?
Dismantles. Jeez, words sometimes, you guys. Yeah. It dismantles itself, and in its place, where each piece shot down, now stands a tall humanoid machine. These are made of that same impossibly black metal, and they, again, in a meta sense, they very humanoid, 2 legs, 2 arms, as they stride confidently forward through the dock. You all are on the ship, getting ready to go. Kira, it's just your ears are ringing. You're not sure what just happened, but you kind of get the rubble off. It's dusty, it's smoky. What do you do?
Oh gosh. I'm going to think of 2 people. I'm going to think of Max, and I'm going to 3, and I'm going to think of Commander Strongpaw and Captain Longshore. So where did Longshore go?
Longshore's down directly ahead of you.
Okay, I'm gonna run out the door and see if I can yell for Max. Is the answer? There's
no response.
Oh god. And I'm going to run where he is first to see if they're in there.
Cool. You get over there. It actually, there's like a decline where the structure of the building kind of shut down.
Yeah.
Or rather, broke down. And you kind of get to the edge, and you kind of nimbly, move yourself down it without getting hurt. And at the bottom of that, you do see Max and Sergeant Goodboy underneath some rubble. They both look knocked out.
Okay. Is there anything I can use as like it's probably too heavy for me myself to pull the rubble off
Sure.
of that.
Why don't you make me a dice pool check?
Oh gosh. All right. Here we go. So let's do. Oh wait, no, I want to do this one.
Yeah. Good Boy is laying there. They look like they were in his office, and it looks like the structural integrity of the building just shut down in a way that they just went crashing down a level, and that's probably what knocked them out.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Then I am going to. Yeah, that's probably all I can do. Can I use a plot point to throw in an extra die?
Yeah, of course. Sure.
Okay. And how do I... Okay.
Okay.
Let's roll.
Ugh.
There's one.
Okay.
But let's do those 2 8s together, and then use that D8 as that 6d8.
Fantastic.
As the effect.
Good. That does beat the 15 because this was difficult.
Yes, Kira.
You do get a complication though. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a plot point for it.
Okay.
And you start straining with the leverage of this rod that you found to get this rubble off of them. As you go, you feel something kind of snap in your right arm. But you push through it because you're strong, willed, and you do push the rubble off, slides off the other way, and you turn and you have successfully freed Max and Good Boy from the rubble.
Okay. Are they up? Are they conscious?
Not yet.
Oh gosh. Okay. Then I guess I'll use. What's in the med pack? Is there any? So like smelling salt, something to get somebody.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to.
Yeah. You
grab
crack some
through,
smelling salts.
like, and do the Max. Come on, Max. Come on.
Great. The two of so you do Max first, and he.
Okay, come on. I know. We gotta get out of here right now, and then I'm gonna do the same thing to Good Boy.
Okay.
Captain?
Good Boy gets up. I need to go check on the others.
I don't know. Captain Longshore went down to talk to Commander Strongpaw. I don't know if they're all right or under rubble. Should we go that way or should we try to get out?
We need to. I can't ask you both to do this, but I must go check on the commander. Do what you need to do. And then he starts climbing up the decline, and Max turns to you and he looks. You look at his eyes. Even before this, he looked like maybe he was crying. He looks to you and he says, "Kira, what do we do?"
I don't know. We probably need to get ourselves out first. We're not gonna be any good to anybody else.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
Okay.
go.
And you two exit the building as best you can. The rest of you are on the ship. Hector finally gets it, or Dresden rather says, she calls out, "Generators are ready, let's go!" And along, you see that there are other ships as well that are kind of taking, leaving dock and whatnot and starting to shoot cannons back at these machines. You all kind of start departing as Hector turns to one of you and he says, "A few of you need to get on cannons and one of you needs to steer.
I'll steer.
Let's go."
Wait, what about Kira? We have to go. Oh, can I pull up my echo?
Sure.
Kira, this is Skipper. Are you okay? Over.
Yeah, okay. We're under. Where were we? At that big building.
You're in the command center, yeah.
We're in the command center. We're running as fast as we can. I'm with Max. There's a lot of rubble everywhere. I don't know.
Be careful.
Commander Strong. All right.
There are some things out here, and we don't know what they are, but they look like they could be dangerous.
Skipper.
We're on Buckley's sting.
Are you all okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're gonna start running towards the docks if we can. It might be hard, but we'll try.
Hold on, Spots. I'm sending Flip to come and get you. Hold on.
So Flip darts down through the sky, through the space. The rest of you, you do see the machines, all right? So these things, as they shift around, a few major officers have are starting to actually engage them with dust blades, with dust shots, different kinds of things, different weaponry. You see there are battles happening, but Tennison, you look... I mean, you are fascinated by what you're seeing here, of course, but from a statistic standpoint, looking at this these machines are... You watch a battle. You're all watching a battle happen on the docks below as you're going into places and start shooting these dust cannons and whatnot. You see there's a sword fight happening below with, you know, one of the officers and whatnot. You see there is... Hang on. Tennison, I'll get back to what I was saying to you later. Mm-hmm. I decided I want to change threads here. You do see... none of you know who it is necessarily, but you do see... Actually, I take that back. You see Vitell with Fred, Ted, and Gruss, and she is expertly like sneaking past some of the machines and leading them to another ship over on the other side of the docks. They seem to be getting to a ship, but not too far behind them, you do see a catfish in a hydrodome, and he is stuck. He's got nobody with him, and machines are circled around him. It looks bad. Across the way, you see that coming... I take that back. Coming towards him, you see Drake and Cha-Cha, and they... You guys are close enough kind of towards the ground that you hear him call to the... Please, help me! Help me! They ignore him and run past to safety. So, yeah. What do y'all do?
Skipper wants to help, and so she like moves to go help them, and then because she remembers that she sprained her wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Milo says, hell, and he's gonna pull out the little dust shooter thing.
Dust shot?
Dust shot. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. He's gonna pull out his dust shot, and he's gonna start firing at the machines, trying to get their attention. And he's gonna start making his way off the ship, because, I mean, they gotta try and wait for Kira anyway.
You are elevated at this point, off the ground.
Oh, never mind. Well, I'm just gonna shoot.
You could, like, rope yourself down. You're not that high yet, but...
Okay.
You know.
Alright, then I'm gonna do that.
Biggest, just cover the thing. I'll hop down and see if we can help this little bloody water bastard out of his...
I'll man the helm.
At least buy us some time.
Yeah.
Chomper, I'm gonna come with you too.
All right.
Chomper and Tennison hop down. We'll just, for the sake of time, say you only, 15 feet off the ground. Chomper, Tennison easily can fly down. Chomper, you hit the ground and you're fine. You're durable. Milo, you're covering. Skipper, what are you doing?
I'm at the helm.
You're at the helm. Okay, so you're kind of bringing it around. Skipper, looking at just kind of the scene around you, it looks like these machines are all heading towards the command center. They're all kind of focused on that place. But yeah. Chomper, Tennison, you start rushing towards these machines. Tennison, this is where I'm going to say this to you. Looking at these machines, so first of all, a machine, another major officer points to y'all and says, "Stay back! I've got him!" And as you two get there just in time, you see one of the... They don't have swords necessarily. Their arms are turning into blades. And as that happens, their arm shifts from a blade into a hand, grabs the wrist of this commanding officer, of this major officer, holds them up. The other hand slices right through, and he dies in front of you. Tennison, your expert opinion, your statistic opinion, you cannot fight these things. Running is your only option of survival.
Chomper, we have to figure out a way to get to this guy and get him back with us. We can't fight.
What do you suggest? I mean, I have my Dustbuster. I mean, I could charge it and throw it at him and hopefully knock him at least off the pathway a bit.
Yeah, if we can find at least an opening, run in, grab him, and get out. But we've got to be fast.
All right. Let me charge my Dustbuster. Hold on.
Your Dustbuster.
There.
All right.
I love it.
You charge your Dustbuster. Meanwhile, let's go back to Kira. Kira, you and Max are exiting the command center. Max is with you. He, you see the chaos around you. You see the machines. You see everything. You see that Kyle, the sloth, is currently hiding behind some crates, and he sees you two, and he starts to speak. And Max says, "Kyle, just hang on. Don't just come with us. Come on. And Kyle just kind of walks out of there. You all know that Kyle speaks very slowly, and that would only take time.
He's a small doc.
Max and Kyle are with you now, Kira. Kira, you see machines, and like Skipper, you do also see that they seem to be targeting the command center you just left. You don't know why. Chomper, what'd you get?
I got a 13 with an 8 die as my kicker.
Okay.
Nice.
Fantastic. You describe to me how this Dustbuster pushes these guys away.
I use it. I spin it up, charge it, and throw it actually towards the ambassador with enough force to push all the way through the things, and with him able to grab onto it, I yank it back.
Yeah.
Okay, so it kind of just bowls them down. It doesn't actually penetrate their metal or even ding it. Tennison, you notice it just they just kind of knock down from the force of it, and the Dustbuster, which looks like what exactly?
It's like Stormbreaker but smaller.
Cool.
It's a Mjolnir, but yeah,
okay,
with a small blade on the end.
Okay, I love it. And it heads that way, and it is about to get yo-yoed back as the ambassador turns to you and like reaches his hand out, like, "Is this right?" And then grabs on. And he gets pulled back towards you. Chomper, you almost like have to catch him with your Dustbuster, grabbing on. You have him. You are safe. And you two head back towards the ship now?
I think so. We've got to get out of here now.
Sure. So you start heading back towards the ship. Meanwhile, Skipper, Milo, you two are on board the ship. Milo, you see that you actually do spot Kira across the other side of the dock. She is actually over there with Max and Kyle. They seem to be closer to Vitell's ship that Vitell just kind of went on and is starting to, spark up and whatnot. What do you do, Milo?
Milo's gonna talk into the communicator thing, and he's gonna say, Kira, you all right?
Yeah, we're good. Where are you guys at?
We're on someone's sting.
The Buckley Sting.
Buckley Sting. We're on Buckley Sting.
Okay, which one's that? And she's like looking at all of them.
It's the old crappy one.
Got it. You definitely know which one that is.
Can she get to us? Like, are the robots, like, are they?
There's a lot of machines between you and her.
There's
her
no time.
best bet, in fact, Tennison, you and Chomper realize this too. I mean, Tennison, obviously you can fly, but they're too high up right now, and landing would be a bad choice with the machines. You see that a few ships are getting swarmed by machines at this point.
Yeah, there's no time.
Are there any sparrows?
Your
nearby?
best bet is to get up to higher ground and try to have that ship either pick you up or like somehow get yourself onto it on that level, because it's kind of like higher up right now.
Okay. Then I'll start climbing and just calling out to people, whoever I see. Go, get to higher ground, jump on a ship. Come on, let's go.
Sure.
And she's gonna start going
Okay.
Are Chomper and Tennison back on our ship yet?
No, they can't reach you. Tennison can, but Chomper cannot. You're too high up. So
Can we throw down a rope ladder?
There's no rope ladder?
if Chomper can climb, yeah.
We
He's
throw
ahead of
down
you.
the. We throw down the anchor. No, you're right.
I don't think
yes.
we use anchors.
Throw down the anchor. Do we have
Do
anchor?
we have
Yeah.
an anchor?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, throw down the anchor.
I'm not sure
Okay.
that, well, hang on a
Does
second.
that?
Let me think about this logically. I don't know why there would be
Yeah.
an anchor. For
Yeah.
You.
Yeah. To
Gravity
on the left.
exists.
Gravity does exist.
What if gravity
You're-
goes away? Maybe the anchor ties to something, so then if gravity goes away, the ship stays on the planet.
Gravity anchor.
Gravity anchor.
Well,
Like
each
a
ship has its
harpoon.
own gravity field. I'm not going to try to get into much of the
Okay.
sciences of this right
Yeah.
now. I will
Okay.
say that you have a heavy rope, we'll say, that
Okay.
that will
Magnetic
fall
anchor?
down.
Magnetic anchor.
Yeah,
I
oh,
like
that's
that,
good.
Kate.
Kate, I like that. Let's go with magnetic anchor. So you can kind
Yeah.
of anchor yourself to something by attaching to it. So you
Okay.
can shoot down your magnetic anchor if you want to.
All right.
Yeah.
And Skipper calls, "Weigh anchor!"
Yeah.
All right. At which point Hector shifts around, aye aye, and just kind of hits the ground next to you, Chomper, which you can try climbing if you want to, or you can just hold on and it can retract and
I was
bring you
gonna
up.
say, yeah.
Um,
Okay, now
let's
retract
do that.
it.
Okay. Chomper, make me some sort of roll to hold on while this retracts. And I will add, you're holding on to this ambassador as well, so you're gonna have to, it's just gonna be a little harder of a difficulty score here. I'm gonna say it's a 15.
Can I ask how heavy the ambassador is?
It's really his metal suit that is
That is the
heavy
thing.
thing.
That's
His
the issue.
hydrodome, if you took that off the suit, it's super light.
Oh,
Like a goldfish bowl.
Like a goldfish bowl. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
If you choose
But-
to leave the suit behind, that'll drop this difficulty to an 11 instead of a 15. It's up to you.
Oh. Can we ask if that's okay? It feels really outside of
Yeah.
my agency to
Yeah,
disconnect this person.
Yeah, you ask.
Are you okay with this? I'm trying to save your life, mate. You good?
I need these legs in order to walk around. What do you expect me to do? Just sit around? I need these legs. I need this body.
Can't
We
do
have
much
the
walking
best
if you're dead.
technician ever on our ship. This bird right here can build anything. He can build you new legs. Now we're gonna save your life, disconnect your legs, and let's get the hell out of here.
You say this with such command. He just kind of, well, if you say so.
But, by the way, I got a 7, a 10, and a 4, so
Holy
7.
shit!
Okay.
We get the fuck out of here.
Did it, and you leave
Yep.
the robot legs behind. All of you get back onto the ship. Kira, you are trying to get higher ground. You get up to a roof. I'm sorry. Before you do, you find a ladder that will take you up to a roof. At this point, machines, you see them get over to where you are. They are they charge right at you, and they are gonna take a swing at you, Kira. Okay, this could be bad.
Do I have to roll, or it's just...
Yes, actually, you do roll against me, so go ahead and roll a reaction here. As this thing is trying to attack you, you can either try to, like, dodge it, you could try to, parry somehow.
I'm thinking dodge is probably a better idea.
Okay, and I'm the attacker, so I go first. I got a 10 with the D10 effect.
Okay.
do I have to? What do I do? My arm. I have that complication. What do I have to do with the arm?
Sorry, I get to roll an extra die for that. That's right.
Yeah.
That's a D8.
Just staying.
Oh, that's better. Make that a 14 with the D10 effect.
Oh boy. Okay.
Thank you for your complication. I forgot about it.
Yeah. I would like to, since I had that other plot point, I'm going to use a plot point to add one more dice as well.
Okay.
Does that what does that need to be if I add one more? Is it a D8?
If you add another die to your pool, it can be any other trait that applies.
Awesome. Okay.
So.
Cool. All right, then let's do that.
Okay.
Come on. Oh, all right, got a 1. But
Okay.
let's do the 8 with a 5, and then we'll use that D8 as the effect die.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a story complication here instead of a physical complication.
Oh, no.
So you get a 13,
Oh, no.
right? You have a 13 instead of a 14. Okay. Sorry, the 14 is what you had to beat. You rolled a 13, so you lose. Therefore, I'm gonna roll my effect die. Your effect die is what? A
D8.
8. So mine's higher. So I'm gonna roll this. That is 6 points. 6 points of damage as this thing slashes across your torso, just kind of, and you get whipped around and flown into some boxes. The machines turn away from you at that point and charge after Kyle and Max. They are fighting, and as you're trying to get up to get to them, you see that the machines shift, and they turn into back almost into like that serpentine thing that was flying through the air earlier, and they ram and just shove Max and Kyle off the dock. And they just fall out of sight.
Out of sight?
They're out of sight, yeah. Kira,
Like into space? Yeah, that's my question.
these machines turn towards you and start rushing you. You have the ladder, or you have the alley, or you can confront them.
Wait, okay, so I have a ladder up, or...
You have the ladder, you have an alley behind you, or you have where you can go through them. They're rushing at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up the ladder.
Okay, you rush up this ladder. You can't think about Kyle right now. Can't think about Max right now. You have to just survive. You get to the top of this roof, and you have a perfect view, actually, of this where this explosion was at the command center. It looked like something impacted them and blew them apart. You see the machines are up at that command center as well. And through them, you see leaping off of that after that building, like leaping down towards a neighboring rooftop to you, is Sergeant Goodboy. And he is being pursued by these machines, and he lands on the rooftop. He rolls, and then he skids to a stop. He looks beaten. He looks bloodied. He sees you, Kira. He turns to you. Kira, you have to get to safety. Get to a ship. Go. Wait. He rushes towards you. Leaping over that rooftop. The machines land behind him. The machines are coming up the ladder towards you. You guys are stranded on this roof. Skipper, you and Milo and them, you guys see this. You're maneuvering yourself towards this rooftop.
I want to shoot my net gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to try to shoot my net gun to give her a way to get up to us.
Okay. Let's say go ahead and make a roll. Anybody who wants to do something, go ahead and build your dice pools, make the roll, and then we'll talk about what it is.
Well, how severe are these cannons? Would it be a disaster to try and fire these at groups of machines?
Honestly, you have no idea. I'll take that back. You do have somewhat of an idea. It seems to blast them back, but not...
It doesn't hurt,
down.
but it can at least move them away. I want to at least shoot some of the ones that are coming up on Good Boy.
Okay, sounds good. Make that roll. Whenever somebody's ready, tell me.
I'm still making my dice map.
Can I
Sure.
see Max at all where I am?
You don't see Max. He fell.
A
You don't know
music
where.
plot point.
Shoot. Okay. Can I tell this to Sergeant Goodboy?
What do you say?
His name's Sergeant, right? He's a sergeant.
His name is Sergeant.
Anyway, sir, I don't know where Max or Kyle went. Please, sir, we need to find them. They fell off. I can't see them.
We can't worry about that right now, Kira. This is more important. Look at me. Look at me. This is more important. And he takes from his belt a copper sphere about this big. And he shoves it at you. And he says, you have to do this. You go. Go here. And the machines, what's happening here? Darrington, what'd you get?
I've got an 18 with the D8 effect.
Okay. That is enough. You and the machines get blasted back long enough for this conversation to happen. Emma,
I got an 11 with a D8 effect, and I'm trying to shoot the net so that she has a rope to climb up, because the net is like attached to the gun with a rope. It's like retractable.
Okay. Yeah, you and it lands right next to you, Kira.
Okay.
What about Brad? What are you doing?
I got a D10 with a D8 effect, and I'm pulling on the rope as soon as she grabs it.
Okay, you're ready to do that? Good.
Yeah.
And what about Rebecca? Milo, what are you doing?
I got an 11. Milo's going to shoot his dust shot at the rooftop. He's going to try and see if he can get it to collapse with a D10 so that it underneath the robots.
Okay. The roof that they're on, or you mean like a different roof?
The roof that they're on, the ones that are going after Good Boy.
Sure. I mean, are you going for the roof that Good Boy and Kira are currently on? Because I guess there's two rooftops. One is completely filled with machines, and one is filled with machines and Kira and Good Boy.
Yeah, okay, so the one that Kira and Good Boy are on, he's trying to create a difficulty for those robots to get the roof to collapse underneath them.
Cool. And your total was a...
11.
11. Okay. Okay, so all this is kind of happening at once. The roof starts to kind of quake as Milo, you shoot the dust cannon, and it is an obstacle now for these machines to have to get over. Good Boy turns to you, Kira, and he says, you have to take this. Go here for Zoa, okay? Kira, look at me. You can do this. Your team, you go. I don't know what's there. You have to do it. You have to go. And the machines, that buffer that you gave them, they start to leap across, landing. Kira, he turns from you, facing the machines as the other machines are coming up the ladder as well. He says, go now. And then he draws his dust blade and just starts getting with blows with them. Kira, what do you do?
I'm gonna jump and
take the sphere. You jump on the rope. Chomper pulls you up, and Skipper, in that moment, you instinctively turn the wheel, and you all start to gain way off of the cave. Kira, you are pulled up to the deck. Hector, Dresden, and this catfish ambassador, are all with you on the ship. Other than that, it's just the five of you. As you are everything is just adrenaline right now. You're just trying to get out. You fly. You're going the opposite direction of where the vessel is. And as you fly away, you see there are a few of those serpentine-esque machines start kind of chasing you. But you get to you get a good distance away. You are just gunning it. You are going. You feel the Buckley sting start to kind of shake underneath you. As Hector said, it was the middle of repairs. It is not ready for flight, and you are trying your hardest to get away from these serpentine. They stop. They just stop, and they turn back around, and you all watch as they all just give up somehow, and you continue outward, away from the cave. You all look instinctively back to see what's happening, and in that moment, a loud pop. You instinctively brace yourselves again. This time, you blinking a little bit. You look up, and you see space around you, and you see the stars, you see the expanse, and that's it. You don't see the cave, you don't see the vessel, and you don't see Zoa. They're all gone. And you are out in space alone. And that's where we'll stop today's session. Sorry it was another long one, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
So, whew, that was a long one. I apologize. I promise they're not all gonna be this way. It was just there was a lot going on.
I'm so angry. I could have lowered the difficulty of that by 1 with my Book of Zoa, but I thought about it too late. I'm so angry.
Instinctively, story-wise, did you really have time to pull out the book and like look for something through it?
Isn't it kind of like? Well, it's just when I look through it, right? Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's
but
pretty much.
Ooh.
So
We also could have saved the ambassador's legs, but we
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
look, decisions are part of the game.
Damn.
So, we'll pick up there next week, 10:30 a.m. Tell your friends. Thank you so much for those of you who were watching and hanging out with us today. I hope you had fun. This was, this is good. We're going places. So next week we'll see what happens. I think we are going to do a raid after we're done here, so stick around for that. We encourage you to support the next channel that we go chill with.
We're gonna raid White Shadow 2006. He's doing a charity stream today.
Sweet,
Charity
I love
stream.
it. Love it. Charity streams. Be generous. Go love the world. And yeah, we'll be back next week. So until then, thank you so much for watching. Love each other, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.